Maul or Nothing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Maul or Nothing with Ryan and Max rounding up. Well, we're starting to get into the business end of all of the rugby, but first, how are we? How was everyone's weekends? Ryan, you were in about, you did 4 games or something?
Boys, my brain's been fried. I have watched far too much code this weekend. URC, to be fair, most of it, but I mean, doing 1 game on the Friday night was fine, but then 3 games, Max, I had to cover in the studio in Dublin. And it's just watching 3 games on the bounce and having to concentrate like fully. And also in a studio, there's no windows, there's no like daylight. And it was beautiful outside in Dublin. And all I could think of was the pints, the beautiful pints of Guinness that I could have been consuming in the sunshine down the road. But no, I'm stuck in a studio with Stephen Ferris.
Oh, pure piggery of code there. That is a lot of code piggery.
Yeah, it was our graft, but there was some serious rugby going on at the weekend, wasn't there, with URC still battling out, and then the semi-finals, which we'll get onto. But I did get to enjoy a nice pint of Guinness. Went down the road and watched a bit of the Champions League final. That was good. So yeah, it's been. Yesterday was wholesome. I back up to Loch Lomond, boys. Did you see that, Max?
Not playing golf. I was expecting you with the golf, mate.
I did play Loch Lomond this week. I did play golf at Loch Lomond this week. I have had a round in. Don't worry. Very, very nice. I was fucking shocking again. Shot 31 over. That's how bad I am. Nice. But I went up to, you would love this, Max. I went up to Loch Lomond yesterday with the kids and just took wood and a lighter and then bacon and sausages, and went and cooked bacon sausage rolls on the side of the loch, made a little fire. I've got a brilliant clip. Keep your eyes peeled for it. I'll chuck it up later on. There's a bloke in waders, right? Proper waders. You're not allowed to fish the loch either. You've got to have a permit. But obviously I take my little spinning rod down because I get the kids playing with it. And there's a bloke in his waders fishing the loch, and Bex has filmed him. And then it pans around to me and my budgie smugglers all the way out of the loch with my fishing rod. He's like full jacket, coat, hat, waders, and I'm in my budgies halfway out.
Can you swim in there?
Yeah, Loch Lomond, mate. It's the most beautiful place
I need
on
to go
earth.
up there. Yeah, the Scottish countryside is apparently a majestic sight.
Well, we will. We're going to get some stuff going. So yeah, it was a big old Friday, Saturday, but I've had a wholesome Sunday, so it was quite nice. And you're still off, Max. You've got no code on, although I'm guessing you've been to the gym 6 times this week.
This week, lad. Yeah, this week was chasing the fitness a bit. It was horrible, but we got through it. But Saturday, big wedding, very fun.
Oh, I love the suit, by the way. I love the suit.
Yeah, did you enjoy that? A little bit of orange linen number. Sadly, it left it in my bag, right? And I had coconut oil in there in a tin. And then because the car heated up over the day, the coconut oil leaked out, and now the suit's been saturated in coconut oil. So yesterday I was on my linen suit with like baking powder and fairy liquid, and I was like massaging this paste into it, trying to like pull the oil out of my bloody suit. But anyway, I think we've saved it. But yeah, great wedding. Sunday was feeling very sorry for myself, as you do. We were just debriefing with all the guests and stuff in the morning, and then just sort of laid down and died. Rewatched the Bath game because I was sort of in and out of it during the. They were all Bath fans there, so like they were desperate as well. So they're all off to Twickenham next weekend, and I was just getting so many jibes for being a Bristol Bear Bath traitor, etc. I was like, that's not how it worked, lads. I got kicked out of Bath. Yeah. They're like, no.
Not there, guys.
That's how it worked. Yeah.
Was it a old schoolmate? Who was it?
No, one of Lauren was a bridesmaid, one of our good friends from university. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Adam Parker and Shannon. Yeah, very good. Shout out.
Congratulations, Adam.
Congratulations, Adam.
Boys, I've been back on TikTok Shop this week, by the way. No, you're going to love this one. Tell me you've seen this. You've seen one of these before?
Where does that go?
That goes in your ear hole, right? It connects to your phone, and you put it in your ear hole, and you scrape out the wax.
That sounds incredibly bad for your brain.
That sounds so stupid.
But it
Oh,
worked
I've just
really well.
slipped and I've just gone through my eardrum. No thanks.
Mate, that looks like a James Bond torture device for your eardrum.
That is you. I
Stamper.
don't know. How does your brain work, Wilson?
No,
Seriously,
it's not. It's I'm
Just
just.
like a drop, Wilson.
It's an addictive personality. The problem is, I go on TikTok and then it's like, oh, look at the wax in my ear, and I'm like, oh, what? 20 quid? I'll have one of those.
What is that, though? You know, in those videos where you look at like pimples or earwax or something coming out, and you're, why is that satisfying?
I don't know, but
Like,
it gets
on a
me.
human
It
psychological
got me.
level, make that. It must be like excreting waste and toxins. Must be like synonymous with survival. That's why it satisfies us.
When Bex just sees the TikTok shop stuff coming, she's like, "Oh my god, please, not again!" Like with Max, we're talking about. Hold on, we're talking about that camera, Max. When he bought himself the Osmo camera, so I've influenced him there. He's bought one of those.
Yeah.
This is your next one, Max, because the golf vlog's coming. Mate, I bought this. Look at this. Look at this. For people that can't see, it's just a massive pole. It's like one of those, like a tripod.
Yeah.
I don't know how to work it, but it's like a tripod that extends, but it's like 8 foot tall.
Why would you want it to be 8
Why?
feet tall?
What do you need? Do you need to look into your neighbour's garden? And video
8
stuff?
feet tall.
That's literally ridiculous. You're just.
It is nice.
I'm
though.
just a hoarder. Talking about neighbours' gardens, Blair Kinghorn episode, people absolutely loving that. The little special of Smoggy floating around in his lilo in his swimming pool, pointing out that Jack Willis is his neighbour that can look into his swimming pool. So I have
Imagine all
been...
the freakish weirdery that man set up. Jack Willis.
Can you imagine? So yeah, I've messaged Jack asking to get a little secret video from the window of Smog just floating around. We talked about what goes through his head kicking. Can you imagine just watching Smog float around in his lilo? I bet you he's still got his medal on, floating around in his swimming pool in Toulouse, just kicking about. So I'll try and get some footage.
That must be
from
so dangerous, though, having like one of your mates and teammates just quite literally able to see whatever. Have you guys ever lived next door? Like quite literally, he showed us his house. We could see the Jack Willis's house. Have you ever lived next door to like a teammate?
Yes.
But not like, it wasn't like you can look into the garden kind of vibes. It was like we're in a basement apartments in the middle of Bath. But yeah, it was fine though. You could just go over there, hang out, and chew the cud. It was always good crack. Jonathan Joseph, it was great times. Vane Street.
The best one for me ever. I used to live on the same street as Nico Matawalu.
Yeah,
And the Fijians, and in Glasgow, the tenement flats, and they were like 3 doors down, and you could literally, when you pulled up to the house, you could hear them. They'd leave all the windows open, put the heating on full blast, and you could just hear them screaming and shouting, and it was the best ever. Just going around to Nico's every single day. Oh, they were the days. They were the days when no children, just get home from training, straight round to Nico's, bit of FIFA, and just get up to all sorts of them. But
Jack Willis has got kids there, hasn't he? Or he's got a child, I think. Yeah. He could just... Blair's could be his nanny whenever he needs. Yeah, mate.
You imagine Schmog looking after your kids? No chance on earth. There's no way. Mark, who would you trust more, Max or Schmog with your kids?
That's a very good question.
They both bring a lot. They both bring a lot in terms of the chat and the banter, just what my 3-year-old and 5-year-old need. So that's
You've
all.
got to pick one. You've got to pick one.
Do they have to, in this hypothetical scenario, they have to stay alive?
Yeah. I mean, that would probably be good to have your kids stand alive. I would go with Max. I would worry because they'd fucking be late for everything, and you'd never bring them back on time, and you'd start to stress out. But I know they'd get a good diet. They would have some good exercise. I mean, there's some heavy things in your house, Max, which I'd worry about them dropping on themselves, but I'd stick with Max.
I reckon I'd walk home through the door and Max is on like his 100th press up and the kids are just riding on top of his back. That's it. Just they've had a great time just basically riding the Max wheel.
Yeah,
that sounds a bit weird.
I'd be class.
You made it weird. The image was there. The image was there. Everyone got it. Now, put your poll away, please.
Hold on. No. Wait there. Let me just touch on it. Max, you're off this week. You're going to... Where are you going? North Korea.
Straight to North Korea, yeah.
Get the right one, mate. Get the right one. Don't get off at the wrong stop.
I'm off to South Korea, Robbie.
You're off to South Korea today, so looking forward to following you on that.
Yeah,
see your brother.
It should be fun. I'll let you know. It should be interesting. Yeah, I'm taking the pocket 3. Should be fun. Get weird with it.
I mean, if there's anywhere that Max is going on holiday, it's not going to be like Magaluf or Tenerife. It's South Korea. It's South Korea.
Great, it'd be great.
God,
Yeah, you know, you just sit there, eat your meat on the, they grill your meat on the stones every time.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the nourishment, the food.
It's so
love
good.
Korean food. So good.
And then equally, Mark, you're getting you kicked out of your house in 23 minutes.
Yeah, there's got people moving things out and everything. And I haven't been home. I only got back from Speedway from Prague yesterday afternoon. So how depressing though. I had hospitality at the Champions League final, and I had to give that up for work. I enjoyed it. Prague was very nice, and Speedway was great. If you ever get a chance, Speedway is a bloody good laugh to go and watch.
No thanks.
It's in Manchester on the 13th of July, mate. You're coming, so you can do all of that face all you want. You're going to be there.
Am I?
Yeah, we're filming the show. We're filming the show live, okay, from the Speedway. You won't be able to hear a thing because it's so loud. In any case, boys.
I know, but piece of piss, by the way, riding a motor around a circle, easy.
Every time, whatever it is, a new sport, a new person, you just got to belittle the thing and be like,
hard.
It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all.
But just riding around in circles.
But you know when you go go-karting and you're trying to hit your lines every time, you're doing laps of the same circuit on a decent go-kart. It's actually pretty intense, man. Like your concentration, like your grips, the like G-force as you're going around corners, like you're weirdly so tired afterwards. And then you strap like these guys to F1 cars or in Speedway and onto these savage bikes. Like how the
no brakes, and also they have to study the way the track is changing and whether there's a lot. It's
conditioned by certain circuits. Oh my god!
Absolutely. But no, Wilson, having just played a round of golf where he's got 18 holes in one, and then he's headed off and he's outbench Max at the next stop, and he's like, easy, I could do that. Fly half for Toulouse or Leinster, I'll do that, and then he just heads off to the Speedway track and just literally I'll just win. I'm world champion. What else is there to do? Next, please. Thank you.
Hey, boys, I know we want to get into the rugby in a minute, but I've got to tell you this. There's a guy, Graham, that I do Premier Sports with. He's one of the presenters. He, when he was like 25, wanted to write a book at competing in all the things that Ireland weren't competing in. So he entered into duo synchronised swimming, because Ireland didn't have a team when he got in. He entered into the world's rock, paper, scissors competition. He went into sauna sitting. So that's actually a thing. They had a sauna competition where you go to Sweden or somewhere and see who could last the longest in a sauna. How fucked up is that?
Bro, that sounds so dangerous. He
got knocked out third round of he did the cheese roll, the cheese roll down that hill. He did that.
Yeah.
He got knocked out in the third round of rock, paper, scissors in Canada. He went and did oyster eating somewhere in down your way, Max, maybe Bristol, I think. Can't remember where it is, but speed oyster eating, and they had to Vaseline their mouths because it would be they cut their mouths from the edge of the shells.
Let's see. Wow.
Boys, we got to get some of these going, because I was intrigued by him talking to all these different things. It sounds so good.
Weird sports, third round of rock, paper, scissors, though. That's
on the CV. That is on the CV.
There would have been a lot of people. He's gone all the way to Canada for it, for the rock, paper, scissors open.
Toby, he had some financial backers. Yeah. Otherwise, he's just spent so much money going around the world.
The sauna standoff, though, that is clean off.
I think they had to ban it because someone died. Because I think you weren't allowed to pass out, but obviously you go to the point of passing out. And yes,
you're just cooking, literally cooking. Because what do they get to? 2 hours? What's the?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he said people would start going black, the lips. Hold on, another one: stinging nettle eating competition, where you have to eat stinging nettles consistently for an hour. And he said all my mouth was all black and it was just.
It's like an amateur production of Jackass. Is he? I mean, he's literally just. Anyway, fair play. Fair play to him.
But you know how he got onto that is because everything like it was like the Staltmans the other day when I sat with them at that table and I was like, boys, I'm not being funny, but it ain't hard what you do. You just pick up rocks and put them on things. And so this is where we got with this. I was like, I could do that easy. And then he started telling me all the things he's done. I was like, this is crazy. We've got to do it. So, boys, I'm going to find us some competitions.
You were still going around saying to people how easy so you're just randomly telling Graham, I could do that. The strongman thing, easy. Right, let's move on to the rugby at the weekends. We will start with the Prem, as there are only 2 games. But boy, for the neutrals out there, dare I say it, for the non-Sale and Saracens fans, that this is the final. These are the results that people wanted. The probably slightly more attacking sides, or am I being a bit unfair on perhaps the other 2 sides? But let's start with your old club, Max, that you were getting ribbed about. Bath. Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. Let's be honest, they were. I mean, all the big names showed up. The scrum got on top early. I think Benno and Dutoy and Dunny just got on top in terms of that. That helped them out a lot. Finn was on flames. He was mesmeric, wasn't he? Very good. Will Muir. All of them had strong games. Benno in particular, I thought, played very well. Teddy Hill crossing over early. The science experiment is still going strong.
Ted Hill, I reckon, standout performer for me. Other than Ben Spencer, who was like next level. Everything he touched, he was, as Max would say, he was like Midas. Everything he touched turned to gold. Ted Hill's just class.
It's just horrible, isn't he? That shot at the end, choke tackles, try. Oh man, it's just so horrible. And it just goes to show, like, he's been injured for all this time in the season, so he's not exactly synonymous with Bath at this point, just because of his injury history. And then they had all that depth in the back row, all these guys playing so well, Miles Reed, Bayless, etc. But the minute he got fit, he's in there, and he's in there for the long haul. Like,
boys, is it coincidence that they're doing so well because of Finn? I'm putting out there that they wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for Finn. I know we did the Christmas special with him and we said, what's different? And Finn was just pointing at himself, basically saying he is the reason Bath are where he is.
The most influential player in the Prem. Is that what you're going to say?
I'd say so. But Spencer has been incredible. He was so good in the game. But Finn's boot is so accurate now. They're leaning on that. They leant on that the whole game. That's pretty much the 2 Finn's boots at the weekend.
Off the back of the forward scrum success as well, though.
Well, yeah, but he was slotting them from out wide. There's not many people that are doing that. It's same with Finn Smith. So a battle of the Finns coming up in the final of the Prem. But Finn Russell, for me, his boot, just you can tell they love him. He is now the king of Bath.
But it's funny you should say, though, you were mentioning Ben Spencer and how well he's done, and Finn. Spencer's been kind of praising Finn, saying just how much he just oozes class and confidence, and apparently it just dissipates across the squad. But also, because he's very relaxed about it, it's almost like
everyone can be themselves. Yeah, it's not like
exactly.
you've got like the Führer at 10 just screaming at you and kind of exonerating you. You've got like a guy who's very approachable and chill. But yeah, you can see it with everyone. Like, everyone's having sort of their best seasons for Bath off the back of that kind of psychology. It's it's so fun. They're great to watch at the moment. Really good. But I thought Sale had moments where they could have sort of seized victory. I think when they brought that bench on, obviously Tom Curry came on after his very lengthy hip rehab. He was mammoth. Like, added some serious malice to that Sale energy, and they sort of looked like they were going to get on top, but then there were like a few big carries, like short gain line sort of carries, where you just saw something theatrical, like Benno running Bevan Rod over or something like that, and it always those sort of scenes I find in a game can really galvanize your teammates as well. So like I thought that was awesome from Bath.
Max, who's the owner of Bath? What's his name?
Big Bruce Craig.
Do you get a free Dyson Hoover if you?
No, you can get, as far as I remember, you usually get one use of a decent discount.
That's it. Like I would be wanting.
I thought it was going to go like use of the PJ or the helicopter or like the yacht.
That's when I was there.
But how I'm throwing this out. How soon until we see Finn Russell on a Dyson advert?
I don't know.
Well, he didn't. He turned to him.
Dyson's pretty like.
But he turned to him and he's like, he's worth the money or something. I saw him some message that he turned that Bruce turned around to him. But okay, Wills, I read something. There's an article about how because he tore
Dyson aren't that good at Hoovers.
No, he tore his groin, right, Finn, and then he was sent to Bahamas to go and recover. Did you know that he'd been out there? Is that true, or is that? I mean, apparently that's what's happened. He went out with him.
I actually did hear this. I did hear this. I heard they sent the head of medical, who I know from Bath, Rory Murray, as his sort of chaperone, if you like, to do his rehab out in the Hammers. But I don't know for a fact if that's the case. This is all I heard down the grapevine.
I'll find out. I'll be honest. I texted him saying if he wanted to come on, like Schmog. You know, Schmog just wins the European Cup, jumps on the next day, doesn't give a fuck. No reply from Finn. He's just dinged me. So we'll find out. I'll go and do a deep dive into the old Bahamas chat and find out. But more importantly, I just wanted to know if you get a free Hoover because.
No, you don't get a free Hoover.
I tell you what, though, if they win the final, they'll be getting as many Hoovers as they want. That's for sure. If you want a Hoover, you're getting one.
This is our time again to say a massive thank you to our sponsor, that is Wolf Craig Distillers. Max, they can head over to the website, which is
wolfcraig.com.
Jump over there, and if you have a little look, you go to the shopping trolley, there is actually a Maul or Nothing membership pack in there where you can go and buy. I think it's £35. I'm not completely sure, but you get wonderful little benefits. You can become part of the Wolf Pack from Maul or Nothing, and we're going to add some lovely little benefits to that. I hope you've all been enjoying the show, and it's a huge thank you to Wolf Craig that have kept us going this season. So yeah, big shout out to them, and jump over to the website and make sure you go and get yourself a little Wolf Pack.
Yeah, and it makes us look better as well if you're using the Wolf Pack thing via the Maul or Nothing code. So do that for us, please. But yeah,
what an atmosphere! Yeah. What an atmosphere down at the Rec, boys. Like I reckon it's got to be one of the best places to play at the moment. And with everything going, the sun is shining. Everyone talking about the rugby that's being played now. It's so much better than it was ages ago. They go, come on, make it a summer game. That is the best advert for summer rugby. Like, what a day out of the Rec. If you could get a ticket, I can imagine it was pretty special.
Was it 2 years ago where they were
2 years bottom 2 years ago? That's insane.
Pretty much. There's a few guys there. Obviously, Finn, Toby being two pretty impressive mainstays of that squad, but like a lot of the core of that squad are the same players that were in that team. It's mental what can change in 2 years.
Van Grant, that's the effect of him as well. And
you see him at the end, emotional.
Yeah.
Emotional.
Very emotional. He's done well for them. But yeah, what a day out down at Bath. I'm a bit jealous that we weren't there, and we were going to try and get to the Prem final, boys, but Max is going off. Mark's pissing off, and I've got a quarterfinals of the URC, so that won't be happening.
You're just trying to relive our moments in the sun, basically. You look at the sun,
of course
you look at some good rugby, and you're like, we should be there, guys. We should be doing the show. I.e., I just want hospitality, drinking in the sun.
I think people enjoyed that. Something a bit different. Max's commentary from the stands.
So good.
Are the innovation from the Maul or Nothing. It's just wonderful.
Oh yeah. Should we read out the comments now? But in any case, Bath back in the final, first time since 2015, first chance to win the competition.
They've never won. They've never won
96. That's
Bath used to win it all the time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, where did I? Someone's commented in one of the highlights videos that they've never won it. They have won it.
Bath with the daddies.
Mate, they used to
just
pick it up.
And Nickel and all that lot.
And so what was it? 16 years.
No, 2015 they were in the final, got pumped by Saracens, I think, and then 96 was the last time they won it. But that was the back end of that period that Max was talking about when they were
was
absolutely
game
just
for fun professional.
dominating, just win every time, everything.
That kid George Ford, he was.
I know we'll get onto it, but I can't see him winning it. That's the only issue. We'll talk about it in a second.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about clearly the people you see that are going to be doing the business at Twickenham at the weekend, but doing it at Franklin's Gardens first. Northampton holding on to beat Saracens.
The scoreline flattered Sarries.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty totalitarian. The whole, it was like last 10 minutes, Sarries were like, oh, "No, we'll get in here." Fans,
but like the Sarries, you always feel that though with Sarries, don't you, Max? Where you're like, "Oh, this is the moment." No,
ish. But like, I just thought Saints were just, for the most part, a lot more dominant around the park. Like at the beginning, like the Sarries had that line speed, but they couldn't sustain it. And you could see the sort of battle of the sports psychology, where the celebrations and everyone was getting into each other. It was there was a lot of aggression in terms of that. Like you could see like Mitchell sort of wryly smiling at like the Sarries boys celebrating knock-ons, etc. And then it sort of started turning, and that Northampton D came into it. They were forcing errors. And then I just felt like Sarries sort of almost ran out of steam for a large part of that game, and then
their discipline was awful, Max.
Wasn't it? Off their feet.
They didn't get away with any of their normal shit, did they? They didn't get away with any of their normal little, going through the ruts, coming off their feet. They gave away so many pins, but like, well, I was going to say Finn Smith's kicking again. We mentioned Finn, him, like the little grubber from foul. The game had a little bit of everything, didn't it? That try-saving tackle from Gonzalez. He gets back across.
God! So he gets pied at the first, but then he's like, "Nah, on my bike, I'm getting this guy." That was incredible. And that was like 65 minutes in.
Ridiculous.
6, and you just pull back Mitchell. He's no slouch either.
I know, that's what I couldn't work out. You think it's a back coming across, but the try-saving tackle from Gonzalez, and then Courtney Laws finishing the game off, having the last laugh with a choke tackle to win the game.
Yeah, on Theo Dan with Mavali. Yeah, that was
the best bit though. Right at the beginning, I think it was like 10 minutes in, and tell me what you think about this, Max. But that's why I asked you. It was Tompkins. Right at the beginning, Laws has gone down. He's given away a penalty. It's the one that Farrell ends up slotting over. But Laws gives away a penalty. They're giving him a pat on the chest. Yes, and Tompkins puts his hand out to help him up.
Yeah.
And what I love from Atoje is Atoje is there. And just as Laws goes to grab Tompkins' hands, Atoje slaps down Tompkins' hands like, "What are you doing?" And I love that. Like, I genuinely love that. I know people go, "Oh, you should help." That's all about.
I didn't actually notice that. I remember the decision you're talking about, but I didn't see Itoje block the help up. That's wild. That's competitor.
Yeah, I love that. You do everything you can. You've got to have the edge. And the fact that they're teammates for England and they know each other, and for British and Irish Lions. And as he goes, he gives them a slap, and you can see they look at him like, to Tompkins, like, "What are you doing? Like, what the hell are you doing?" Slaps his hand out the way. I was like, yeah, very nice to Tojo. I've got a lot of time for that. But like I said, Laws had the last laugh, didn't he? He gets the choke tackle at the end. They go on and win it. And it's a good send-off for Laws. Not so much for Amit Faz. But, boys, he's what a bloke. Like, to be fair to him, he's done a fair bit for Sarries, hasn't he?
He's done a lot. The Vunipola brothers and Faz, they're sort of synonymous with those 3 stars on that shirt. They've done some huge things for club and country, and it is the end of an era. But mate, how good was George Furbank? That pass, to Berger through the middle, just threads the needle. It was naughtiness. I was like, "You naughty boy," class. That was some absolute highlight reel stuff.
I pick up on the important parts, like, Berger's got to lose that lid. He's got to lose the lid, mate.
But mate, he had a strong game.
He did, but he does not have a strong hairline.
Some guys, you just leave them to it. They just want to hold on to what's left. Like, follicles are, like, they're hard to shear off, I think. There's a lot of emotion in your hair.
Yeah, we're quite lucky. Look at me. I'll be off to Turkey. I would never go to Turkey. But how we've gotten to here again, I don't know. But I looked at it, and like even with unavailable talking at the end, there is a bit that you feels a bit gutted for him. You know, like the way it finishes for him, because he has like as much as we bag him, as much as I used to get stuck into him, and we'd go to and fro. Like you never want to see it end for someone like that. He talked afterwards after the game about how he first ever came with his old man to the first pre-season when he was 13 years old. 13 years old. He's been there for that long. Do you reckon there's a bit of him, and the same with Laws, where they get to the end and they're like, I sort of wish I'd just stayed and just carried on till the end?
I 100% would believe that, but these guys make their decisions for the right reasons in the end, don't they? They've got families, etc. And maybe it is time. A big part of them needs that sort of novelty.
Isn't it a bit weird though, chaps, that it's almost like how quickly we've forgotten how dominant Saracens have been. You mentioned the 3 stars, Max. We saw the celebrations for Toulouse for winning the Champions Cup, but these guys have done it, and they've done it so regularly, and somehow it's as though it's been not expunged from history. Of course it hasn't, but what I mean is that you forget that Faz was one of the building blocks of that dynasty, and I don't know, it feels as though it wasn't the ending we wanted, but we're not giving the credit that he deserves.
No, I don't think that's the case. He's record England point scorer. He is the man. Everyone knows it. That's why he gets so much. Like you see the Saints fans trying to get under his skin. If you're getting that kind of abuse from the sort of away fans, you are the daddy. Do you know what I mean? You are a great. But
shouldn't it be positive? This is what I find incredible.
No, but history will always dress him up in a positive way, in my opinion. But right now, it's a bit like that. It's just because he's the man, isn't he? So like Saints are desperately trying to get under his skin. That's the sort of pantomime of this. But sport moves on quickly. Do you know what I mean? As well. Sadly, it's got a short memory. But
give it to the Saints fans though. Like yes, during the game, and that's again part of the game. It's getting under his skin, trying to get on his back, trying to put him off. But then fair play to the Saints after the game, applauding him, standing ovation as he was walking around the stand. So it wasn't like it's a horrible thing. They're just trying to get behind their team and trying to make an effect on the game, as you should as a fan. But after the game, respectful, cheering him. He even went up and you could see him after the game, like applauding the fans and signing autographs and stuff. So I don't think there's any of that there. But
just quickly on him though, boys, do we think he'll have? Will he do a Sir Johnny Wilkinson style transformation? Over in France, where Johnny never buys a pint in Toulouse. Yeah, in Toulon. Sorry. Yeah. Do you think Faz will have that kind of impact in Paris?
Yeah. Well, that's because Johnny doesn't drink, but.
Yeah, I think it could happen. That's your question.
What you think he's gonna transform Racing?
I think he could be absolutely huge for them. Yeah, he's obviously going to be a big difference maker.
Yeah, I guess. But if Finn went down there now, would he make a bigger difference? Maybe because he's a bit more wise. But Finn tried to do it. Went down there at one point.
They got to a final.
Yeah,
but it's not like but he's not left a big huge big legacy. Sorry,
it's not always down to one player, is it? You need
But that's what Mark's asking.
But Johnny Wilkinson is he going to go down there? He left a legacy. But let's talk about who was also his teammates there.
Yeah, well, that's
Elon had a joke team. That was actually top trumps, that team.
So exactly. So Racing when Fraz goes down there, he's got Sia Khaleesi. He's got some pretty good players. I mean, Tuasova's there. They've got some all right players.
I think they just need the couple more starchy sort of ball carriers, in my opinion. I think they're lacking, because Joseph's obviously good, but he's a young 8, sort of a little undersized. I just think they need some kind of starchiness up front in terms of a carrier, and then somewhere they can sort of get behind in terms of gain line success. And then they've got the cash as well, so I'm sure that's
right. Here's more of a question, though. Who, afterwards, Northampton losing the likes of Ludlam and Courtney Laws, big players, you feel like they've got the team to then go and back it up again next season. They're not losing all that team. They've got a young enough team. Whereas for me, I think Saracens, it's almost like a rebuild next year because some of the players that are leaving. Would you say that's You say that's accurate?
I'd say so. There's going to be a big void in sort of just some characters. To be fair though, like they've got the right guys in the positions and sort of like in the shape of Willis and Maui to start. But obviously they've got to bring other guys in, and obviously Fia McFarlane, Gonzalez, we mentioned previously. They've still got like a epic mainstay of talent, and there are some young guys in that team still. But yeah, like there's definitely going to be a big change in sort of the hierarchy and that social culture at Sarries now that you've lost like mammoth presences and the Vunapolas and Fast, no doubt.
And Skux as well, who's obviously won everything and been there and done everything.
He's been part of all of that as well. Like he'd be huge for that team off the field. Like
I wonder where they're on the piss now. They must be on the piss now because that's it over.
Yeah,
and the Sarries boys do it pretty well, but
go hard.
Is Big Billy out? That's the important question. Is the taser out?
Is the taser magnet?
Does nothing to him. Does nothing. It's just tickles.
I need 40,000 volts. Otherwise, I will not go down.
Turn it up, please.
Surely someone's like, they're doing fancy dress and someone's putting tasers in him, like, and he's just walking down the road with pretend tasers hanging out of him, like a wedding car with the tins on the back. Billy Vanapola just walking down the road with tasers hanging out of him.
Just tased, baby. Also, shout out to Alex Waller. Hopefully, it continues, obviously, for the final. But mate, epic Saints career. One club man. Absolute dog, incredible resume of fitness. What was it, 300? I can't remember how many it was, but yeah, I think he's got the record for consecutive games in the Premiership, which is just crazy. And he probably could keep playing, but he's retiring sadly this year. So there goes another one of my OG peers, which I'm looking around now, and there's a.
You're outliving them all, Max. Look at the way the nick that you're in.
Anyways, it's not about me, Mark, but yeah.
Mark.
It is. It is.
And also, Curtis Langdon and Big Trev. Huge game. Saints on top, scrum all day. Absolutely monstered them. It was horrible. It was horrible to watch, and that was a big in for them as well. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Langdon and Trev. I feel like Trev will be going on that tour. So I think he definitely deserves a shot in that England shirt again. Just going based on a really big season for him. And Langdon should definitely be involved. He's been one of the best players for Saints all season. He was huge.
Well, we did try and get Finn Smith on her as well, and I messaged him, but he came back saying, cheers mate, but I've got an exam tomorrow, so I think I give it a miss. And I just put, you and bloody uni, you need to give it a rest. I've given him some solid advice. I'm not sure why he's even bothering.
Straight from the Wilson School of Life.
Mate, hold on. Well, how good is this reply from him though? I was like, you and bloody uni. He went, I've got a fucking Prem final on Saturday and I'm looking at algebra. The youth of today, eh? So fair play to him. I completely agree. Listen, we're not trying to force him, but he's got a big old final. The last thing he wants to do is come and spout in there. But it did good thing for Schmaltz,
by the way. You see some of the shots he was putting
for a wee man. For a wee man, he's a big banger.
The Milky Bar kid can hit, mate. Unreal. Tompkins down the channel. Have that. No,
I'm looking forward to that though. Finn versus Finn. That's going to be the talk of the final, isn't it? At Twickenham.
Yeah.
Talk of the final at HQ.
Right, boys. Let's move on to the URC and the final round of the championship before the knockouts. And some things happened, Ryan. And let's start with Nuggety Ospreys squeezing in, mate.
Nuggets and squeezing
That's
out.
what it looks like. It's either good enough or it's not. Ospreys, Boofy's army. Legend.
Boofy and the
boys.
Just got to be within it. Just got to be in it. That's what I want the boys to do. Just be in it. Be in the game. Boys,
that's what it looks like.
2 weeks ago, I think it was. 2 weeks ago, they had a 2% chance for the supercomputer or whatever they call it in the URC. 2% chance of making it through.
Yeah.
And even at the top of the show on Premier Sports, we're like, mathematical reasons, Ospreys could make it, but there's a very, very slim chance. And the way that everything went their way, throughout that Saturday afternoon in terms of the Lions not beating. Lions probably should have beaten the Stormers. They had a pretty good game and they looked like they're on top. They were at the Stormers, but didn't manage to get it done. I think they only got maybe a losing bonus. If they got a try bonus, they might have gone through. So they jumped up to 8th and were in 8th until Ospreys went and then got the bonus point. Ospreys needed a bonus point against Cardiff and managed to scratch that out. So with everything else that went on in the league, Ospreys sneak into 8th place.
And your old team, Edinburgh, not your old team, your old rivals, obviously. But I'm just trying to make sure that you don't just hammer them too much. But Edinburgh, again, their result at Benetton, meaning that their season's over, and the Ospreys go marching on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Edinburgh were never going to beat Benetton. I called it. And I said, there's no way. Like, Benetton at home are a dangerous team. They're a difficult team on the road now, but they're a dangerous team at home. But Edinburgh got fucking schooled, like blown off the park by them, and it was pretty embarrassing actually. So fair play to Benetton when it did the job.
Why are you so acidic and
mate, I'm not.
You are.
I obviously wanted 2 Scottish teams to make it through to the quarters.
No, you didn't. You're the chief cutter off of one's nose to spite one's face.
Yeah.
You are. That's what you do.
No, I'm not.
You are a pundit.
Don't do this
you
to me.
can't be biased, are you?
Boys, don't do this to me. I'm not. But listen, Ospreys have got a difficult old job. Obviously, Munster hitting their straps. They've struggled through. It was a lot tougher game against Ulster. I thought at one point Ulster were going to beat Munster at Thomond Park. It looked like they were going to do the job. John Cooney played bloody well and kept them in the game for the most part of it. But Munster go back to top spot and they play Ospreys at Thomond Park next week. Boofy and the boys down at Thomond Park.
Anything can happen. Believe.
Can you imagine Ospreys go on to win the URC? I'd actually love it.
That would be some absolute Hollywood stuff, but no, it's unlikely. Munster in some very, very hot form at the moment.
Exactly. So yeah, you've got Munster and Ospreys. So what we'll do here is we'll almost do our predictions as well for
let's set up what is a fabulous quarterfinals coming up on the Friday 7th, as you said, Munster Ospreys. Then on the 8th, we have got some big matches. The Leinster Ulster, talk me through that, Ryan, because Ulster they don't fear Leinster home or away, right?
Well, this was the important thing, because if Ulster had won right against Munster at the weekend, if they'd actually got over the line, they would have been heading down to Pretoria. So it was almost in their favour, I think, mathematically, to lose the game at the end, because you'd rather go to Leinster away than Pretoria away, wouldn't you, Max? Because you get your travelling fans. So we were looking at it going, hold on a minute, and I was trying to egg Stephen Ferris on to say, sorry, are Ulster going to try and throw the game here so that they get almost a home quarter?
Working with Wilson, you probably just laminate your P45 and just have it with you at all times, don't you? It's just always just dreadful.
But yeah, Ulster go to Leinster. It's definitely the better option out of the two. You'd rather go travel down Leinster with your travelling support in a big one. And to be fair, they've beaten them twice this season already. Maybe Leinster's not the strongest team that Leinster put out, but Ulster have beaten them twice already this season. And well, Leinster, you look at the last few results, they'd lost something like 4 on the bounce before the game at the weekend. So you never know what can happen down there as well. So Ulster picking up a little bit of form after midway through the season. Yeah, Dan McFarlane got the sack, wasn't it? Yeah. Kitsy said, "Listen, I'm going home."
Kitsy's like, "I need to get out of here. The weather's terrible. I need to get back to Cape Town and my restaurant Roma."
He's getting, Max, you've been absolutely torn to shreds because apparently you were saying that you could scrum off the park. That is not what that clip was meant. That is not what we were trying to say, you weirdos.
Who still are commenting today. People are still commenting going, show us your World Cups. And you're like, I didn't do anything.
What happened? I told you. And I was like, gonna have to mute the comments on this one because my self-esteem can't take it.
He did. To be fair to Max, he did say this is gonna kill me. But I was like, that's a great clip. And but yeah, no, don't you dare Kitsy fucking scrap him, man.
Break him in half, man. It push him into next week, man.
That's not what we were trying to point out. we're trying to point out that props are made of all shapes and sizes. Like, you know, look at Nicky Little. Like, he fucking,
Nicky Little, that is an odd-looking man, but fair play, he is effective. He is it, mate. I remember.
Oh my God!
I was like, you are an interesting shape, but strong as ox.
He's like a little mole. He's like a little mole.
Yeah. He's like, he just gets on that angle, and there you go, up like so.
Oh, if we could get Kitsy, Max, and Nicky Little all to take their tops off in a row, it would be bloody gold. But anyway, let's move on. Leinster, Ulster. You see Ulster doing the job, but you never know what's going to happen there. And then, obviously, my old mates.
Wait, you see Ulster doing the job?
No, I see Leinster doing the job, but you never know.
Right, okay.
No, I'm pretty sure I said Leinster there. But,
I think that's your like audio-visual dyslexia coming out again, mate. It's not right.
Max, who you got? Leinster or Ulster?
Leinster. It's that time.
It's at the Aviva, so it's almost like a neutral venue. Let's call it a neutral venue for Ulster because they'll have the good support down there. But that's going to be a big one. I can see Leinster doing it and Ulster. But then Benetton have got to go to the Bulls. Listen, they've been brilliant all season with my dark horses, but too much to do. Down at the Bulls, who are hitting form as well. They're a tidy old side. I'm sticking with the Bulls for that one. And then Glasgow Warriors, boys, versus Stormers on Saturday evening this week coming up. Obviously, I'm backing my boys. They said to me at the end of the thing, right, you've got to do all your fixtures and say who's going to win. So I went Glasgow going all the way, and they were laughing in the studio. So what,
were they laughing at you? Were they?
I've got to back my boys. You know, they're going Munster. Ugh, shut up. I reckon Glasgow beat Stormers, go down to Munster, do the job, and then it's Bulls in a final.
Nice.
There we go.
But yeah, Glasgow will beat Stormers this weekend. I know that Stormers are obviously a dangerous team.
When you make those confident predictions, a la, Scotland by 14 versus Italy type sort of scenarios. If I was you, I would just be a little bit like Stormers. You know, it is stacked with Springboks. You know, you've got some big players in there. Willems, Manny Livot.
He's injured. There you are. Right, we're fine. Willems is injured, so we'll be absolutely fine.
Is Mal Herb? Is he injured as well?
I think
he's big friends.
I think he's going to get sick this week. I think he's got food poisoning. Although I would have liked to trip down there, but yeah, Glasgow at home beating the Stormers. That lines you up, boys, for a Munster Glasgow semi and a Bulls versus Leinster semi-final. So we'll cover those off obviously next week. But yeah, the URC, best league in the world, best league in the world.
Yeah, I potentially agree with you now. Actually, finally,
I love you, Max.
Yeah.
I fucking love you.
It is spicy. You can't deny it. Yeah.
Quick word, boys, on Antoine Dupont. Just, we've spoken to Schmog about the celebrations that have gone on. We've seen Dupont with the champagne goggles, and he's just gone out to the sun of Madrid to just go and dominate another sport.
What the fuck? What? And not only that, but I've seen some highlights from it at the weekend, and he has been tearing it up as well.
You know what I want to see now? I want to see him play like NRL and just dominate for like the Sydney Roosters or something. You imagine he'd be so good at rugby league as well, like so good.
What? They won it, didn't they? France won the Madrid Sevens.
Yeah, there it is.
And so the two competitions that he's gone and been involved with, he's won it with them as well. That's fucking crazy. In France, I don't think he'd won any sevens. Any of the leagues.
They actually are doing all right.
Oh, but I don't think. I think when he went down there, this is the first time they've won in a fair while. Anyway, that could be completely made up, but who cares? Because it's a wonderful story.
Yeah, and they've beaten the league winners Argentina, who
Dupont for the brand, baby.
Yeah,
I'm so good at rugby.
It's ridiculous.
The rest of you would just try.
Can you imagine being like, right, just done the European Cup, going to go meet up with my mates, 10 of them down in Madrid. How you going, boys? All right, let me go and win this for you. Quickly do that. He'll probably jump back up to Toulouse at some point. Toulouse, 31-31 against La Rochelle. We're pretty much the bomb squad. Shows what a European Cup win can do for you.
Yeah, just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Like, Mate,
La Rochelle was stacked as well.
Yeah, well, that's suddenly now they have this aura of just absolute invincibility. They're fearful.
Can you imagine? Without Dupont as well, and he's
Without Dupont. Antoine, I'm him, Dupont. That's it.
It's just
he
he
will
lead, and that's it. Leading France to the Olympic sevens.
Je suis ton père ici, hein? Je suis ton
Oh là
père ici.
là, putain de merde.
That's all we say. So random.
Slide into the YouTube comments and just hammer it. And if we get a lot of you saying we want to see it, then we will try and make our way down to the top 14 final where we think that Schmog is going to do the double. We can even stay at his bloody house. I'll be floating in his Lila in his pool on the Lila the next morning with a what are they calling them? Aperol Watts? Paris Saint-Germain.
Saint-Germain Spritz.
Saint-Germain Spritz, yeah. Paris Saint-Germain.
Paris Saint-Germain Spritz. It's not.
It's just.
We're going to the top 14 final, baby.
Oh, mate.
Oh yeah, manifest.
I went to an end of season social at a top 14 final. Have I told you the story? I was in Paris, right? And Hugh Pyle had just won it. I played with him at the Rebels at the time. They'd just won the league, and they were like, "Hey, come down to VIP rooms for this club in Paris." So we ran down to VIP rooms.
It's called Le VIP.
The VIP. Ran down there. It was going off. I'm nosing off Mornay Stain. There's like strippers in the middle of this thing going round and round. Like the boys have got that big old shield. They're all losing the plot. Parise is the governor. And guess what? I'm looking, and there's this massive entourage of people in the corner, and they're all in Air Jordans. I was like, this is weird. Out from the shadows, the towering figure, 6'6" of his airness, Michael Jordan. Cigar on lip, blinged up to the nines, mate, and he was just balling out. He must have been. When did Stab win it? It was It was reasonably recent. It was like 2015, wasn't it, or something? And mate, he was out. All the boys were trying to run over there, get a thing. He was horrible, completely. Like, no, get away from me. All of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, nah, you poor rugby players, get away from me. Peasantry.
Stinking me out with your corners.
Mate,
that is
so weird. But yeah, he has that, like, that I don't give a fuck energy all day, every day. Like, I'm the baddest man.
Is the top 14 final in Paris this year? Is it always at Stade de France? Is that
no?
It's
it changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, let me just find out. But yeah, it's where is it? It is at Marseille's Orange Vélodrome Stadium, which in itself is an absolute beauty. That place.
I'm not going back to Marseille. I've got nightmares from there. I'm not going down there.
There's an arrest warrant out for you down there.
Hey, Mordor.
Please don't make me go back there. Please don't make me go back there.
Just Berry wearing orcs everywhere.
We'll just wait in Toulouse for the fans to come back. We'll just wait at Blair's house. I can't believe all those years we've been mates with Max, and he's just brought up his sighting of Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that was surreal. I went like, and Hugh was trying to get a selfie with him. Mate, he is so tall. He was like a deep, like international lock forward. He was tall, like. But when you watch like Space Jam and you think, nah, Michael Jordan ain't that tall.
When you watch Space Jam.
Well, like you watch basketball or Space Jam.
Of all of his accomplishments. Look at him on Space
Jam.
Look
how big the monsters look.
Look how he is against Roadrunner. He's tiny.
You feel like Dennis Rodman's way taller than him. That's what I mean. Sorry. And
6'6" doesn't sound tall, but
oh mate, he's an absolute specimen. Of
Max, quick word on your old club, the Rebels. Sad to see them go down the pan.
Yeah, mate, I'm cursed. Irish. Who's next? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, no. But jokes aside, yeah, very sad. Because they got bailed out originally, and it just hasn't worked out or something.
Yeah, I think there's something along those
lines.
Thing is,
it was always
you never like to see it.
It was always It was always going to be very difficult to have a team like that in Victoria, the football country. Like, mate, you got Melbourne Storm, who are already the daddies. They've won so much, and then you've got like five teams of AFL. And also the soccer. The soccer's really popular now in Australia. And they've got a
fucking
big team
Flamengo.
down there. But you've got like Richmond, you've got Essendon, you've got Carlton, you've got all these like famous Melbourne Demons, you've got all these famous footy clubs. And no one wants to watch rugby union, mate. They just want to watch the great game of AFL.
Oh, man. Well, it's a shame. It's a shame to see,
it is a shame.
but
Super sad.
Tosso they're into the finals. They got the Blues. They're against Forbes in old Tripolar Verne. I can't see him doing the job, but I want Drua to go all the way. Tosso Drua.
Go on, Drua. Right, on that note, fellas, huge thank you, and a huge thank you to all of you for listening and watching, and to many of you as well for subscribing to our channel on YouTube at Maul or Nothing. Our numbers are going up, which is why we're starting to bring you more and more bonus content. Continue to tell your friends, subscribe on there, and continue to spread the love, please, because we're growing, and we're going places. But
Mark's a grower, not a shower.
Doesn't matter, mate. As long it's just because it's so intense, it's fine. Huge thank you to Ryan and Max as always, and a huge thank you to you all for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Vanaka vaka levu.
More or nothing.
Max, I can't believe you met fucking Michael Jordan.
I know. Well, I wouldn't say we met. I just saw.
Yeah.
His
We weren't there,
hands.
so yes, you met.
Like a cat, like
mate.
a jungle cat. Mate, very, very cool. It was very weird.
Equally more impressive, I can't believe you didn't get a free Hoover from Dyson.